Yo, people. So, yes, let's talk about the Matchroom show yesterday. I guess we'll start off with AJ and Usyk because that was the main fight of the night. So, firstly, who come up with that game plan for AJ? Like they were just like to him, yeah, let's just go out there and just try and outbox Usyk. Like, who come up with that? AJ's got like 3 inches in height on him and God knows how many pounds in muscle. Surely the game plan should have just been to go out there, dominate from the off, smother him, use your strength, work him in the clinch, get inside of him and wear him out and then break him down late. I just don't know who come up with that game plan. Like, it was just terrible. Size matters. I've said this before. Size in fights and in other aspects in life, it matters, man. Like, size always matters. That's why they have weight classes. You know, he's never gonna beat Usyk in a boxing match, but you use your advantages. So height and strength was his advantage, and he just didn't. It just didn't even come into play. He just sat off him the whole fight and just let Usyk do his thing. When what he should have been doing was really more of what like Derek Chisora tried to, you know, impose your will on him. That's what he should have done. He should have imposed his size, imposed his strength, tied him up, leaned on him, wore him out and put him into deep waters. I just don't know who come up with that game plan. And then on top of that, I mean I've questioned it for a long time, but I really really have to question AJ's heart. I just don't see this whole thing, like, as much as they try and build him up as like some big bad man, like, he's not. He could, when it gets tough, he's nowhere to be found. Like, he really look like a man that wanted to go to war? Did he look like a man that wanted to fight? When he was getting hit, getting hurt, I question his heart. I really, really do. Like, when it gets tough, man, he always looks like he's looking for a way out. We saw it in the Ruiz fight when he just, in my opinion, he quit in the first fight. Like, he just got up. The ref saying, "Do you want to continue? Do you want to continue?" And he's sitting on the ropes, leaning like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He just looks like a broken man when it starts to get tough. And you see it again. And in the 12th round, he was nearly taken out. Like, he just really didn't look like he wanted to engage. He looked scared to throw hands. He didn't throw a combination in the whole fight. All he threw was the biggest combination was a 1-2. That was it. There was no 1-2 hook, 3 punches, 4 punches, 1-2 body shot. Like, nothing. It was just 1-2. Jab, jab, 1-2, jab, 1-2. So robotic. Anyone that ever thought that he would beat Fury, delusional. I don't even think he would beat Wilder, just because I think he's put a better boxer than Wilder. I don't rate Wilder's boxing ability at all, but I just think he would get caught with a right hand like Wilder does to 99% of people. He even did it to Fury, but Fury just somehow got up. But yeah. So I don't know who come up with the game plan, and I really question his heart. And all this bullshit humble stuff. I really believe he's the fakest guy in boxing, maybe even the world. But all this shit now, like, he acts all humble, but he didn't even want to stay for an interview afterwards. Like, he's not the humble guy he makes out. I would just respect him a lot more if he just come out and acted like an arsehole, like I think he is. You know, but yeah, now he's got all this shit like, yeah, I want this, man, I want the rematch, yeah, yeah. You didn't even look like you wanted to fight in the first place, mate, so I don't know why you're talking about the rematch now. Just go back to the drawing board, maybe go back to doing like a 10 rounder or something and come and see if you can like work your way back up. But does anyone really see a rematch going any different? I really don't. I think it'd be more the same thing. The run-in and I hate that word running, but the back foot boxing may have worked against someone like Ruiz, but it's not going to work against Usyk. You try and outbox Usyk, you're going to lose all day long, and that's basically what happened. As I said, he should have imposed his will and smothered him from the off. Anyway, enough about that. not really much to say. I only saw the 3 fights with Coley and Campbell and AJ. Cody fight, not really much to report on. Guy wasn't in his wasn't in Cody's class. Hopefully he moves on now and fights some of the big names. But Campbell Hatton fight, yeah, man, he didn't win, did he? He did not win that fight at all. The guy clearly beat him. I kind of feel sorry for Campbell Hatton. Like, I don't really rate him at all, really. I think he's got to be looked after extremely well. When I see that that opponent that they picked for him, I thought like, this isn't good matchmaking. He needs to be looked after severely. But a good thing for Campbell Hatton is he is young and he's got everything really he needs to get better. He doesn't have to work. He's got all the money, financial backing behind him. He's got the big promoter. So in time, he probably will improve. Like, I didn't really think much of Conor Benn when he first started. Didn't really think much of Eubank either, to be fair. But Eubank's done pretty well, really well actually, in boxing. And Conor Benn seems to be doing all right. I think he does need to step up in his level of opponent though, but he's doing all right. He's definitely improved. I mean, go back and watch Conor Benn from his debut, and now look at him. He's come on a lot. But I think Conor Benn needs to be really, really looked after. They need to matchmake him a lot better than they did in that last fight. He really needs to learn his craft. And he shouldn't be moving away from 4-6 rounders anytime soon. But yeah, and that's my take on yesterday's boxing. Peace, people.